to your words, all the fake shit. Now I want my day, one is you been patient. All the same people, never been complacent. We've been working hard, man, we on the same shit. I'm not just a sinner, I ain't you for dinner. I'm not a beginner, I'll paint you a picture. I got a guitar and they play that shit every day. No, I was not that great, figured out how to play. Learned how to chase the beat, learned how to rap and sing. Passion is everything, loved it throughout my team. 10,000 hours so I could be fucking king. Hand me the ground, I just get out my fucking ring.
They know just what they see on the outside. They don't know just what I'm like on the inside. If you knew what I could do, you'd watch your backside. If you knew what I could do, you'd stay.
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Trailblazers come into town for this one. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Happy to have you along for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Wesley Matthews, do you think?
Well, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. When he's out on the perimeter, it gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
And offensively, you'll find him often lurking on those corners. Always a high percentage shot among three-pointers, and especially for him.
It's a single-game return to Minnesota for the Timberwolves as they'll look for a boost from their hometown crowd. They've probably been looking forward to this part of the schedule for a long time. A lot of upcoming home games are slated for them here.
And you know, Kevin, they look like they're having fun out there, a real party. I mean, I love what I'm seeing from them in terms of their chemistry. But playing well and winning games will do it for you. That goes hand in hand. Good chemistry, wins, and fun.
Yeah, chicken or the egg, Clark, which comes first? I'm not sure, but they've got both right now. Great chemistry, winning games, the communication, the camaraderie, the fun, and really the effort and the passion that they're showing. It's all great stuff.
Outside, Martin. Left side, Martin. Love sinks the three-pointer. Love's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done. You know, since the Northwest Division came into existence back in 2004, the Trailblazers have never taken the title as the best in the division. They've always been competitive, but never at the top. That's a quick foul to pick up here in the opening quarter.
Aldridge gets a screen from Robinson. 5 on the clock. There's the lob to the hoop, and Aldridge slams it in.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And that's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
And last year, no exception for the Blazers not winning the division. They ended up 4th out of the 5 in there, a record of 6-10 against the rest of the Northwest teams.
And as you guys were saying, I mean, the Blazers have never won the division, but it's not like they're in the cellar either. They've got a lot of talent. They should be in the hunt this year with an improved bench. And I think this is a team that could surprise a lot of people in the Northwest.
Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with head coach Rick Adelman. And Doris, what do you have to say?
Kevin, he thinks this team is such a tight-knit group that it's starting to get to a point where they can read each other's minds. They'll see a guy cutting without even looking up, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully, the fun can continue, guys.
Okay, Doris, appreciate the information. I think, guys, it's not the first time that shooting has been a focus for this team.
Well, it's always something that they've tried to concentrate on. You work hard in practice. You work on your craft. You work on your strategy, your execution, but you never know if the ball's going to go in or not.
And we've seen it ring up dividends. When they take that very disciplined approach to their offense, it usually pays off.
The Trailblazers shooting their first free throw attempt on the night.
Well, they're doing okay as the season goes on. They're shooting about 76% as a team.
You know, the numbers from the line, guys, are close to where they were last year, but just a tad worse, so not too bad.
Now here's Love, and another three for Minnesota.
So Kevin Love, known as a paint presence and a rebounder, how about him winning the three-point shooting contest in 2012? Well, he has developed into an excellent outside shooter, and that combination of paint presence, rebounder, and three-point shooting, very unique.
And here's Matthews. following the three-pointer by Kevin Love. And the basket by Lillard.
Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Here's Smooth. Boy, he was something else against Boston. Takes it into the teeth of the knee and converts the layup. 8 points for Kevin Love. And for Kevin Love, a great shooting motion, clean, efficient, quick. I mean, a textbook.
Well, he can shoot them from anywhere. He's got deep range, which allows his team to really space the floor. And then, how rare is it for a shooter like him to be one of the top rebounders in the game as well?
Pekovic, here's Smooth. Second shot opportunity, and the layup is up and in. Smooth's got his second bucket tonight.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Matthews passes to Lillard. One's good. Lillard's got 8 points.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball, just having their way down low.
Here's Pekovic. Here's Smooth. Second chance shot and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And the defense fouling there to prevent that layup, forcing 2 free throws here.
Nice job that time of attacking the paint and drawing the contact. They'll take that.
And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for Minnesota.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them. Another season and another finish at the bottom of the Northwest for the Wolves. It seems like every time they start climbing up the division ladder, something derails them.
With the lead pass, Martin lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Martin's got 5 now. Trailblazers trail by 6. And Lillard kicks to Aldridge. Pekovic is there. Puts up the baby hook.
That's his second foul already, and that's going to force him to, I think, tone it down a little bit at the defensive end.
It's been a good night for Lillard. He's already up to 8 points, and he's chalked up 1 3-pointer on the day as well.
And a lot of times, he's one of those players who can get hot and stay hot from the three-point line. So I look for him to continue to search for shots out there.
Robin Lopez is checked in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And Pekovic backs down. Gets it to go. And that climb is never going to be easy for him. Going back to the Wolves now, as Clark was just talking about, Steve, they have yet to win the division since joining it back in 2004.
Well, it's not like it's getting any easier. I mean, with Oklahoma City there, you got Denver playing at a high level, Portland looking to rebound. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent on this Wolves team, but they're playing in a very, very difficult division.
The Minnesota Timberwolves coming to this one after the win against the Boston Celtics.
And, guys, they could have won that game on the strength of their offense alone. It was that good.
And to do it on the road, too. I mean, with the way they just kept coming at them, they kept that crowd out of the game the entire time. That's good work.
Shot's good.
Well, Blazers coach Terry Stotts is a branch on the tree of head coach George Karl, and that's a pretty good tree to be on. In his playing days, Karl coached Stotts in the CBA, and actually, Stotts had a pretty good career in Europe.
And the call will go against Thomas Robinson. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second personal foul.
Here's Smooth. He's got 7. Martin, the pass to Smooth. Back to Martin. Clock at 6. Misses the 3. And for Terry Stotts, after his playing days, he coached as an assistant under George Karl, both in the CBA and then with the Sonics and the Bucks.
And over 2 decades of coaching experience, Kevin. This is his 6th season overall as an NBA head coach. Remember, he coached the Hawks as well as the head man. But I thought did a nice job with Portland last season.
Brewer pushes to Pekovic. Smooth, defended by Batum. And that one's good. And that's now 9 points for Smooth.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Trailblazers trail by 6. Here's Lillard. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Cavaliers in Cleveland.
And Kevin, a remarkable night for him passing the ball, just racking up the assists.
4 on the clock. From deep. Pekovic with the rebound.
Really good performance so far on the boards for this club.
Boy, I like the way they've done a great job carving out space under the basket when the shots have gone up.
Now here is Martin. 20 points for him last game. Against Boston. Lillard outside. Lopez. Back to Lillard. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Lillard's got 12.
No matter what the score is, his attitude has been perfect. I love his disposition. He has stayed in attack mode.
Martin goes in. Can't cash in from close range.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Timberwolves leading by 4. Matthews with the steal. He kicks to Lopez. Back to Matthews. Lillard outside. Pass to Batum. Hands it from downtown. Batum's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And he's someone the defense has to keep track of at all times because, even when he doesn't have the ball, he moves so well without it. He's constantly a threat to catch and shoot.
That's true. And his spectacular shot blocking, something else to look for, especially recovering on the break. He can run you down and send it away in a heartbeat.
Here is Lillard following Kevin Martin's 3. Now, here's Lillard. 12 points for him. Shot clock at 6. Robinson kicks to Lillard. A floater. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Damian Lillard was really a steady floor general, guys. I think we still have a lot to see as to how much of a playmaker he'll become.
And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Martin, the pass to Love. Rejected by Robinson. Big men, Love and Pekovic. Martin out on the wing with Muhammad. And it's Smooth in at the point. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Knocked loose. And here we go. Muhammad heading to the hoop.
Wow. Look at that athletic play. Incredible.
Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
And why not? I mean, the more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes.
Wesley Matthews checked in for the Trailblazers. Well, as far as the defense goes, Clark, that is not what's going to keep them in this league.
Yeah, but from the other perspective, you can see just how much that dunk pumped those players up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I sense a little bit of a momentum shift here.
And the shot is good. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, Thomas Robinson was the 5th overall pick out of Kansas back in 2012. He struggled his rookie season and has since been traded twice. First from the Kings to the Rockets, and then to the Blazers. The Rockets were looking to clear cap space to sign Dwight Howard, but a great opportunity for Robinson with the Blazers, a team that needed help in their rotation. And guys, Robinson led the nation in rebounding his junior season with the Jayhawks. He's got the talent.
He certainly does, Doris. Thanks.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Here's Smooth. He's got 9. Love with the screen on Lillard. Smooth passes to Love, and stolen by Lillard. Lillard, right side. Six on the shot clock. Kicks it to Matthews. For 3. Good! Matthews has got 7.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
And the pass is Smooth. Pekovic with the screen on Lillard. Outside for Martin. This one for 3. That's good. He's got 11.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him. Boy, it was a tough year for Portland, and a lot of that was because they didn't get much done in points in the paint. Not only did they not score in the paint, they gave up a lot of points in the paint as well.
Robin Lopez is checked in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Pekovic with a screen. Smooth passes to Martin. Here's Brewer, and he's good on the 3-ball. Brewer's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. Well, Clark, you were talking about them giving up points in close, perhaps the biggest issue Portland faced last season. Steve, they were dead last in the NBA when it came to that category.
Yeah, near the bottom of the league in blocks as well. You just don't win in this league without good interior defense. You have to be able to clog the paint and force outside shots and keep people from scoring. It seemed like it was a layup line against the Blazers last year.
For Portland, they won their last contest, that game against Cleveland.
Tell you what, the way they shot the ball that game, Kevin, it looked like a shoot-around out there.
It sure did, and all the more impressive because they did it on the road. You're not supposed to be able to get that hot in an opponent's building.
And now look at Kevin Martin here. Over the last month, he's been one of the standouts statistically in the league. 7th in field goal percentage, 7th in three-point field goal percentage, and he's in the top 15 in points per game. So he's a guy you have to account for defensively.
And Steve, you touched on his outstanding field goal percentage. I mean, he hasn't gotten there just simply by having a hot hand on occasion. I mean, it's also a product of how hard he works to find those good open shots. Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
The kick out to Matthews. Fades and shoots, and that one's good. Matthews has got 8 points in the quarter.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
Passes it to Smooth. It's a pick by Love. Smooth passes to Brewer. Feeds it to Pekovic.
Nikola Pekovic, guys, out of Montenegro, a super physical 6'11" big man. I mean, he is a battering ram offensively. He's a terrific offensive rebounder, can score around the rim, doesn't shy away from contact. And when he gets to the line, he knocks him down pretty well for a big guy. This guy, I tell you what, he's going to be one of the best big men in the league in the next few years. I don't think there's any question about it.
Jarrell Wright's checked in for Portland. Williams comes in for Damian Lillard. Trailblazers trail by 15. Matthews with it, and it's Martin picking him up. Williams dishes to Matthews. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. And here now on the 2K leaderboard, the best distributors in the league. The point guards with the most assists per game this season. Well, you look at Smooth, an uncommonly gifted passer, leading the league in assists.
And he's been doing everything you want from that position, getting everyone involved, making sure the defense has to worry about all 5 guys on the court.
Not only has he been doing all that, but as his assist rank illustrates, he's been doing it better than any other point guard in the league. You can't give him enough credit for his passing this season.
He's shooting free throws, number 4 in 5 here.
Look at the numbers for him on the line this year, 88% on the season. Impressive number.
You know, he's been one of those players, they've won it on the line as much as possible this season, especially in close games, guys.
Going back to Pekovic, Clark, offensively, he is a real presence. Defensively, not great, but Steve solid.
Well, he's not explosive. He's physical, but, you know, he is a good rebounder, and most importantly, he wants to mix it up down there. He's a presence, and I think that's one of the reasons he's become such a good player in this league.
And Matthews kicks to Williams.
Turnovers have been a major problem for them here.
Well, you know, they've given up 6 points off their miscues, and they wish they could get those points back. They've got to change things up if they're going to cut into this lead.
Trailblazers trailed by 19. Pass to Batum. The dish to Matthews. Outside Williams. Shot clock at 5. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the fans.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
And Portland making a change here. Crabs checked in. And Pekovic throws it down.
You know, for a guy his size, he doesn't play above the rim very often like he did on that slam.
Still got some power behind him, though.
Yeah, I mean, you let him get in close like that, he'll throw one down hard on you.
Portland's gotten out from three-point land in the second quarter, going 4 of 5 from downtown. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Taking a look at Minnesota. Third best record here in the early going. And, of course, Portland, 6 games out.
You know, right now for the Timberwolves, they're a team that came almost completely off the pace this season. Nobody saw them being in the position they're in.
And I'll tell you what, the longer we wait for the bottom to drop out, the more unlikely it gets. I think we've reached the stage where we can officially say they're for real.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Outside Williams. No good from outside.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. And that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
Hits the bucket.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Williams gets a screen from Cram. Knocks it loose. And it's out of bounds to Portland. They'll retain possession. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. Well, they've got the Lakers ahead of them after this game and the next. Five seconds separating the shot and game clocks. There's a good screen. And it's Love penetrating. Smooth. Aldridge is covering. Smooth passes to Rubio. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Rubio's got 8 points.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
Love it. Old school. Just physical play in the paint. Dominate.
Williams kicks to Crab. And nothing is falling for him right now. That will count. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Minnesota on top, running away with it. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. It's Wednesday night at the 2K Sports Studio, and this is the halftime report. Minnesota is ahead against Portland, playing great basketball of late. This game's no different. We've seen Smooth producing at will against the Trailblazers D. He's got 13 points, been outstanding on the defensive side of the court as well, gotten the job done on the glass too. For the Trailblazers, they haven't been as good early on. They've got to do a better job protecting the ball and valuing each possession. They've not done that. Their turnover numbers way too high through 2 quarters. Mo Williams with a disappointing first half. He's been far too careless with the ball. He's trying to do way too much. And that's it for now. Thanks for stopping in with us. It's time to head back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, who are all ready with a call in the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
You know, he spoils us with his performances game in and game out. And so far, just another big scoring night for him.
Typically, when he puts up that many points in the first half, he's going to follow it up with a better second half. We'll see if that happens here.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the floor for Portland. Filling out the wings, it's Matthews and Batum. Robinson and Aldridge down low. And it's Lillard in at the point guard position. Shot from the inbound. Aldridge, a follow-up flush.
This is just great anticipation. The putback jam.
Oh, he had some big-time intentions right there.
And those plays will give your team a huge boost.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, you recall around draft night, there were rumors that the Cavaliers were willing to trade both the number 1 and number 19 picks for LaMarcus Aldridge, but they were rebuffed by Portland. And it's easy to see why the Blazers would be reluctant to part with their franchise big man. But with Aldridge expressing unhappiness in Portland over the summer, you wonder if that's a decision they'll live to regret. Kevin?
No question, Doris. Everyone's got to be invested and on board, or it just doesn't work. Back to Lillard. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will retain possession. And now we'll look at the upcoming schedule for the Portland Trailblazers. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway. 6 to shoot. Outside for Batum. Offline with his 3.
Well, for Kevin Love, guys, last season, in my mind, the most trying of his career. I mean, he broke his hand going into the season, came back, and then broke it again. He ended up playing only 18 games for the season and never really found the rhythm at all.
And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. Here's Smooth. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play. And Kevin Love, known for his great dedication to training in the offseason, he actually broke his hand doing knuckle push-ups. I remember reading the story so clearly with that training staff.
Yeah, he was doing it with the staff at the time. And maybe they take those out of the regimen. Oh, man, come on.
That's right. Aldridge against Pekovic. 4 on the shot clock. And stolen by Love. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. The pass to Smooth. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Love goes in. The feed now to Brewer. Clock at 6. He dishes it to Martin. Portland grabs the miss. Matthews has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. This is their first chance this season playing the Timberwolves.
Well, they capitalized on a weak opponent when they took on this team last year, sweeping the season series.
Now, Love inside. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down. Clark, I'm guessing that wasn't the plan for the D on that trip.
And I'm agreeing with you there. Once they opened the lane up for him, that was a little emphasis on that finish.
Take what the defense gives you and then just power it home, right? Why not?
Here's Lillard. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers. Even the teams at the bottom match up well against someone. That was the case here, too.
Well, Kevin, maybe your relative strengths don't show up against a top-tier team, but lower the bar of competition a little bit, and in your own way, you can shine.
That's a good point. The Trailblazers have gone 4 of 5 for the field since halftime. Very slow start offensively. Batum dishes to Lillard. They need this. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock. Lillard's got 22 points.
He's done a ton to help his team, guys, and he may have to do more if they're going to come back and win.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break.
Hey, it goes without saying that if you're beat up and your all-star power forward is on the shelf, you're going to have a tough time against the big teams in the West. Minnesota was left for the wolves, so to speak, when they matched up against others in their conference.
Brewer passes to Martin. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
Very well executed pick to give him all kinds of space to get that one off.
And Smooth is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Well, picking up again on the Timberwolves. Last season, 17-35 record against the rest of the Western Conference, which was third worst in the conference. As Steve, you might expect, that's got to improve.
And as you said, I mean, losing so much of their front court as they did last year to injury, it's amazing that they even won that many games. I mean, if you don't have big bodies down low, it's tough to win in the West.
The Timberwolves have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Love, right side. Uncovered. Another shot. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
Well, coaches love him because of the hustle he's continually showing out on the floor. And I think where you really see it most is on the offensive boards.
And Steve, quite honestly, he is their muscle. I mean, the guy they rely on for some brute force when they need it is him. Finesse isn't the first word that comes to mind when you're talking about this guy.
In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Timberwolves.
Well, they're taking high percentage shots in the paint. I like the way their offense is clicking.
Something we've also seen them doing tonight is getting the long ball to go down. Big points from outside. Boy, you talk about a franchise having some terrible luck with injuries. Portland is certainly that team. A lot of emerging stars in Rip City have had their careers or tenure cut short because of injury. And the injury bug, once again, reared its head for Portland.
And Smooth is going to pick up the foul. That's his third foul of the game. Earl Watson's checked in for Portland. Lopez against Pekovic. Reverses. And Lopez gets it to go. As you said, with the Blazers throughout the ages, they've had to deal with injuries to guys like Walton and Oden and most recently Roy. Unfortunately, Steve, starting over is something that they are used to doing.
But they are in a pretty good position to do so right now, Kevin. I think they've been really good in the draft the last couple of years. Obviously, they got a star in Damian Lillard that they can build around. To me, the key is LaMarcus Aldridge. Can they re-sign him? Can he be that dominant low-post guy in Portland for the next 5 or 6 years? He sure has the potential.
And Freeland kicks to Lopez. And again, it's Portland converting.
Now, you got to love the footwork. How about that turnaround?
Timberwolves have gone 7 of 11, a lucky field goal percentage here in the third. Into Pekovic. Outside for Martin. Back to Pekovic. Smooth. Pekovic with a screen. On the wing, Brewer. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. And Kevin Love, the bucket with the assist from Corey Brewer. 22 points for Kevin Love. Watson with it. Back to Lopez. He feeds it to Watson. Watson gets a screen from Freeland. Matthews into the lane. No good.
It's been a great day for them on the boards, Clark. That's definitely been a major factor in building this big lead.
And, from a number standpoint, the advantage might not be that large, but they have been manhandling them inside.
Portland's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Watson with it. Now defended by Smooth. And here's Watson. Outside, Batum. Just 5 on the clock. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. Shot by Freeland, no good. Minnesota's gotten 12 of their points from long range in the third quarter, going 4 of 5 shooting. Pekovic with a screen. Smooth passes to Pekovic, and he bangs it home with one hand.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've seen him make over and over again.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Watson gets a screen from Freeland. Now Watson. He passes to Matthews. Releases. And he knocks down the jumper. Matthews has got 14 points for the game. Minnesota shooting the ball with incredible accuracy. 68% so far. Passes it to Smooth. It's a pick by Love. Down low. The shot is off. Good D by Lopez.
I tell you, the defense was right there, just waiting, doing a nice job of anticipating that play.
Steve, every team needs tough interior defense to be successful.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's his first 3 of the half. There may be more in store.
Batum's gone 3 of 6 in his three-point shooting tonight.
One of the rare statistical feats you'll ever see in the NBA was accomplished by Nicholas Batum last season. In a December game, he tallied a 5-by-5. 5 points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Hi, guys. Smooth in their last game against the Celtics put on a show. He finished with 33 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. Just absolutely incredible numbers from him in a game you didn't want to miss. So glad we were here to watch it, Kevin.
Thanks for the great report, Doris. Guys, the way he carried them that night, Clark, I thought was truly incredible.
Absolutely. He did the work of several players in that game. He really didn't need much support at all.
But they shouldn't count on that type of performance again tonight, Clark. His teammates need to be prepared to carry a little bit more of the load.
And last season for Batum, a new gigantic contract, the uptick in minutes, and when he was healthy, he was terrific.
Yeah, Portland traded away Gerald Wallace to basically clear a path for Batum. And you're right, when he's healthy, he really can be an effective player out there. I like his defensive versatility. With his length and speed, he can guard either wing players or perimeter guys.
The Timberwolves have taken on an increasingly international character. Players like J.J. Barea, Rubio, Nikola Pekovic, and Alexei Shved, all important contributors.
And Johnson drops them both. And Clark Owati, European players used to this cold weather. Maybe that's why the Timberwolves, Steve, go after him.
Well, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But they've had pretty good luck with the international players. Some good talent that they've put together.
Pass to Crabbe. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
That's his first personal.
Guys, it's no surprise that a young team like the Blazers found it difficult sledding on the road. Not quite the experience or edge needed to put together good performances on a nightly basis. away from home.
Well, for the Blazers, statistically, they played as close as you could ask for as to when they played at home, but they didn't really have the roster to protect the rim and Steve forced turnovers, which is always a big help on the road.
Yeah, their interior defense was a problem last year. A lot of teams just ate them up, particularly when Portland would go out on the road. That's one of the reasons they finished 11-30. You have to be able to defend at a high level to win away from home.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Johnson gets the bucket.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Pass to Crabbe. Back to Williams. Launches it. Gets it to go. Williams has got 5 now.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark.
Shot on the wing. Minnesota with the rebound.
He has not been on his game, and, you know, their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not helped the situation.
Back to Rubio. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Now here's Buttinger. He's guarded closely. And Rubio kicks to Buttinger. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. He has 6.
Boy, he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the defense.
The shot and game clock separated by 4. Wright sets a screen for McCollum. Dishes it to Williams. He kicks it to McCollum. And the Trailblazers, another 3.
McCollum.
Here's Smooth. Here's Rubio. Drilled it just as the horn
And
sounds.
Kevin, he had the eye of the tiger there. I mean, he was not going to pass that shot up.
No way.
Well done. Big-time shot in the clutch.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. The Trailblazers shooting 56% in this game, really stringing quality possessions together offensively. Smooth, he's in at the point. Johnson is out there with Derek Williams. Then it's Alexei Shved, and it's Muhammad in at the 3. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Here's Smooth. Now that's how to finish the break. Throw down with force.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Nice work there coming off the screen. 12 points for C.J. McCollum.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
For 3, Shved. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
You know, the defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it turned into the easy basket.
Watson with it. Now guarded by Smooth. Kicks it to McCollum. Feeds it to Freeland. Shot clock at 6. There's the dish to Watson. There's the pass to McCollum. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. The Timberwolves shooting a scorching 68% in the game. Passes to Smooth. And there's the feed to Williams. He dishes it to Shved. There's the 3. And good on the basket. Hook it. Shved's got 6 in the quarter.
That was simply a defensive breakdown there, Kevin. He was all alone for that shot. It was a warm-up jumper.
He feeds it to McCollum. McCollum off a pick from Lopez. Here's Crabbe. Pulls up on the elbow. It's blocked. Now here's Williams. Pass to Smooth. Johnson the screen. Smooth passes to Johnson. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will take it.
Way too loose on that inbounds pass.
Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Johnson with it. Now guarded by Smooth. Lopez, a screen on Johnson. Got a piece of it. Here's McCollum. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body, and put it in the hole, tremendous play. You know, the Wolves were devastated by injuries last year, guys, but they still did all right up here in Minneapolis. 20-21 at home, not great, but considering the injuries, a pretty solid home record. Boy, the prettiest play in basketball to me, executed to perfection.
I don't think you're going to get an argument there. Everybody loves the alley-oop.
Well, unless you're the team getting dunked on, of course.
Wow, a fantastic performance from the Arc here in the second half.
And back to Minnesota, they were a sneaky pick to get into the playoffs at the beginning of last year, but so much can change in the course of the season, Steve, namely injuries for the Timberwolves.
No doubt. Kevin Love going down, I mean, that hurt them. Ricky Rubio in and out of the lineup. But there's no question when you look at the roster, some of the moves they made in the offseason, this is a pretty talented team.
He kicks to Muhammad. He passes it to Johnson. Dishes to Muhammad. Feeds it to Shved. Pass to Williams. Here's Shved. Takes the three. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. Williams has got his third assist on the night. The drive by Lopez. Kicks it to Watson. There's the dish to McCollum. And some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. And the Trailblazers, another three.
Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of him shooting that shot, but they did give him the space.
Outside Williams. And there's the pass to Smooth. There's a screen by Williams. Smooth passes to Williams. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Well, it's pretty obvious, guys. Portland has a lot of young talent, but the defensive effort has to get better. The intensity, the concentration at that end of the floor has to grow, which is always tough with a young team, but to get better, it's going to have to start with defense there.
And Freeland kicks to Crabbe. Just 4 to shoot. And taken away by Johnson. Up the floor. Here's Muhammad. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
Portland finishing second to last in opposing team shooting percentage, Clark. Yeah, that's interesting. Defense, something that usually needs to be learned in the NBA, and the Blazers were a young team last season, Steve, and easily a team learning game by game.
Yeah, youth or not, though, Kevin. I mean, 48% against you defensively in terms of field goal percentage. That can't happen. So a lot of improvement in store for this Portland team. They really have to lock in on the defensive end.
Pass to McCollum. Shot to stop the run. The Trailblazers rebound. And it's out of bounds to Portland. They'll retain possession. Grab the pass to Freeland. Lopez dishes to McCollum. The feed to Freeland. Pass to Watson. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
There's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
It's just beautiful basketball to watch, Clark.
Smooth passes to Shved. He dishes it to Johnson. Here's Smooth. The shot is off. Great D that time from Freeland. Pass to Crabbe. He feeds it to Freeland. Into Lopez. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Last season was the best yet for Robin Lopez. Career highs pretty much across the board for Lopez as he stepped into the starting center role for New Orleans. Sometimes it's just a matter of opportunity before a player gains the confidence to be productive in a starting role.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Berea's checked in. The pass to Smooth. Johnson the screen. To the paint. Goes up off the pick. The shot is off. Now Portland takes it the other way. And for Robin Lopez, not the scorer that his twin brother Brook is, but, he's showing some signs offensively.
Well, he's efficient from the field and from the foul line, and the key for him is to continue to work on his rim protection, his defense in the lane. He's got potential to be very good in there.
Williams passes to Smooth. Williams a screen. He kicks it to Berea. Nailed from three-point land.
He's been key for this team's offense the way he's distributed the ball.
Yeah, the offense is just moving through him, Steve, no doubt.
Watson kicks to McCollum. Here's Crabbe, and the Trailblazers another three.
Allen Crabbe.
Minnesota's gone to three-point range for 12 of their points in the final quarter on 4 of 5 shooting. Smooth passes to Berea. Williams feeds to Johnson. Dishes it to Berea. Fires the three. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
For Portland, they've gotten exactly two-thirds of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth, 8 of 12. McCollum dishes to Lopez. He passes to McCollum. Lopez sets a screen for McCollum. Crabbe off the mark there with the three-point shot.
So many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle, and that's held true in this one so far, Steve.
And even if it's only a modest advantage that they have in that category, it's still a significant factor.
Smooth passes to Williams. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
They just continue to splash home those threes. Eliminating the deep shot has to become priority number one for this defense.
It really does. It's not possible to give up that many points behind the arc and not pay the price in the end.
Crabbe, good. Crabbe's got 10 points here in the second half. The Timberwolves shooting the ball with incredible accuracy, 68% so far. Williams a screen. Smooth passes to Williams. Johnson, a second chance effort. Offensive rebound. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
He's a natural scorer with three-point range. Muhammad is really good with his feet set as a spot-up shooter, but he can also slash to the rim and finish.
And the mindset he brings is a scorer's mentality, Steve. Some would say he gets a little myopic and has tunnel vision, but when he heats up, He's on fire and tough to stop.
Darrell Wright's checked in for Portland. Watson kicks to Crab. Lopez a screen. Shot off the pick. But he recovers it. The dish now to Freeland. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Here's Smooth. Kicks to Barea. Passes it to Johnson. Lopez is there. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Gets it to go. 22 points for Smooth.
You know, there's no fear out of him, guys. I mean, going straight to the hoop against a much bigger defender, he's got a lot of heart.
Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. Chase Buttinger, he's checked in for Muhammad.
Chase Buttinger.
Here's Smooth. Now the feed to Barea. Pass to Johnson. He dishes it to Barea. To the middle. Smooth. Good, and it's Barea who picks up the assist. And that's now 24 points for Smooth. And Clark, they've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, I think so. Too cool. I mean, just not forceful enough, not alert or aggressive enough, and sometimes trying to do too much with the basketball.
Well, sometimes you just got to make the easy pass. Somebody's open, throw it to them. When you do that multiple times, the game starts to find a flow to itself.
Here's Crab, guarded by Barea. No good from Crab.
Looked like he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open, just couldn't take advantage.
Buttinger, the pass to Smooth. Williams dishes to Barea. Back to Williams. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Smooth. Banked in off the glass. Smooth's got 28 points for the game.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
Yeah, they have the defense on the run right now because every pass seems to have a purpose. They're getting great movement, great spacing, and they're really lining them up defensively.
Watson kicks to Wright. Pass to Crab. To halt the run. Tries again. That's tipped. 1:03 left in the fourth quarter. Smooth passes to Barea. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off. One of the things that really jumps out at you about the Timberwolves last year is how well they got to the foul line. Everybody on the roster is pretty good and clever at using ball fakes to draw fouls and get themselves to the free throw line, and it makes it very frustrating when you're defending a team like that.
Crab kicks to Watson. Great D that time from Smooth.
Boy, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Well, Clark, you said it. They were very good at drawing fouls. They were also very good at avoiding fouls, Steve, defensively.
Yeah, very disciplined defensively. The end result, third best in the NBA in free throw differential. And for a team that struggled shooting the ball from long range, those extra points came in handy.
Good.
Just a little bit more for these fans to cheer about as they get ready to celebrate the win.
Well, they can already start to celebrate, Steve, and they should let their team hear it. They were good.
Looking to end the drought, and the miss. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, Smooth.
what I want, I get what I need. Every single day I'm heading off to my dream, and I get everything that I damn well please. I don't give a damn if you all listen to me, cause I run it. I'm the only one that really want it. I'm the only one that's really on it. I'm just being honest. I'm just doing everything I promise, cause I want it bad enough that I'ma make it as an artist. And I know I'm not the smartest, and I know I'm not the largest, but I promise you that I'ma be the one that worked the hardest, cause I promise you that I'm just getting started. And I promise you that my skills are getting sharper, so I'ma get started. Can't be guarded, nah, I'm the one to get retarded. Get the party started, yeah, get the party started, yeah, so let me get up on it, yeah. Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought.
A big number of assists for you tonight was 17. It was really impressive the way you were able to get your teammates involved. Do you feel like that came at the expense, though, of your own offensive game?
That is my offensive game, man. I'm more than willing to get my teammates involved if that's what's going to lead us to the win. Offense ain't about just scoring points. Basketball is a team game. We've been over this so many times before, man. With all the moving parts and different roles, if you don't have a facilitator out there making things happen, it's tough to be successful. I was able to fill that role tonight, and thankfully, it got us the win.
Told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste.
The Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, glowing brightly in a beautiful night. It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Timberwolves come into town for this one. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? For Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Welcome to NBA basketball. And now we take a brief check at the matchups, our starting five for both teams. And as we break down the game, let's take a look here at Steve Nash.
Well, of course, anytime you talk about Nash, his outstanding court vision and creative passing is the first thing that comes to mind. But, of course, he's also one of the best shooters the game has ever seen.
Steve, you mentioned the creativity he brings. Despite the flair, he's really quite fundamentally sound. He's excellent with his decision-making and understanding of how to create scoring opportunities for him and his team.
In the last meeting for these two teams, the Lakers were handed a loss when they went up against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Well, there's no doubt they played well enough to win that game. It truly could have gone either way, Clark.
Well, the lesson in this one is you can't just play well for 3.5 quarters and expect to win. I mean, they didn't close it out the way they should have. That's on them.
Now, here's Nash. Outside Jackson. Shot clock at 6. Back to Nash. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Nash has got the opening basket of the game for the Lakers.
Well, I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you here, guys. Not sure if you're familiar with the 180 Club, but it's players who've had a season shooting 50% from the field, 40% from long range, and 90% from the line. You add those up, that's 180. Nash had done it 4 times and I think last season should qualify as his fifth. He shot 44% from three, 92% from the line, and 49.7% from the field. I round those numbers up, so that's a 50-40-90 season in my book.
Outside Jackson. Here's Hill. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup.
And Clark, going back to the 180 club you talked about, Nash has now done that 4 or 5 times, depending how you count last season.
Well, he stands apart in that. I mean, it's only happened 12 times in NBA history. Larry Bird is the only player to do it more than once before Nash did. So, yeah, you're talking about one of the great shooters ever in Steve Nash. That's just a case of 2 teammates working perfectly together, one setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Minnesota shooting their first free throw attempt on the night. Now let's find out what head coach Mike D'Antoni had to say to our Doris Burke. Doris?
Team rebounding is something he stressed to his side, and rightfully so when you face a player that gobbles up the glass like Kevin Love. He told me that Love rebounds at an unreal rate, and his side can't take any mental breaks when it comes to boxing out on the defensive end. Love's numbers validate that fear, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Backing down is Bryant. Here's Jackson. That's good. And it's Kobe with the assist.
I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass up.
Smooth passes to Martin. And easy 2 points on the layup. Martin's got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, sometimes when you're at a heightened disadvantage, that's the way to attack. Go right at your defender. Well, since the new CBA, the league has made the luxury tax much more punitive. But certainly the Lakers, blessed with the financial wherewithal to be a tax-paying team. The problem is it can hurt your flexibility under the new rules just to make deals, and that's going to be the challenge for LA.
That was simply a defensive breakdown there, Kevin. He was all alone for that shot. It was a warm-up jumper.
On the wing, Brewer. He feeds it to Pekovic. Kamen's there. Lets it go with a 3. And the basket by Brewer. Brewer's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Well, you talk about the huge fan base for the Lakers, Clark. One of the marquee franchises, certainly in the entire NBA.
I would even stretch that to all of sports, Kevin. The market and their finances clearly have helped them gain that stature, but you can't shortchange the organization, the people making the decisions. They've been a winner for a long time, and that's been the magic ingredient that's attracted fans, players, sponsors, the full package.
Here's Pekovic after Jordan Hill's bucket. Pass to Smooth. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. The shot's good from Love.
An unusual skill set for a big man. The long-range shot gives you such good spacing offensively.
Kaman sets a screen for Nash. Nash right side. Here's Kaman, and the Lakers tack on 2 more.
Great job there, recognizing the mismatch and taking advantage.
They got to put a bigger guy on him, otherwise he'll bury those jumpers all game.
Now, here is Martin. A 23-point game for him in the win against Portland.
Did a great job picking the defense apart, too. It wasn't just his scoring. Give him credit for his passing in that game, too.
Looking at Minnesota, they took the win in their last game against the Trailblazers.
I thought the way they attacked the rim and got into the paint was phenomenal. It seemed like after a while, the defense just kind of waved the white flag.
That's exactly what will happen when a team continues to attack the goal and come away with layups. It demoralizes the defense.
Lock it 2. And that one's good by Kobe.
He presents a defender with a serious challenge, always.
Minnesota's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Pekovic with a screen. Smooth passes to Martin. Brewer drains it from beyond the arc. Brewer's got 6. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
Robert Sacre, he's checked in for the Lakers. Goes back up, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for the Timberwolves.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And they're sharing the ball, too, which I love. They're piling up the assist. We're seeing great offensive movement.
Now here's Jackson. He's got 6. Kicks it to Kobe. Back to Jackson. Dishes it to Kobe. Puts it up. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Kobe's got his second bucket tonight.
Boy, has there been any defense played yet in this game?
Nope, this game has been all about rapid-fire offense early.
Love outside. Hill's there. Love kicks to Martin. Pass to Smooth. Back to Martin. Launches a 3. The Lakers with the rebound. Want to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
And a very confident performance offensively, I think, guys. Is really how this team clicks. I mean, when they're communicating and executing, sharing the ball, they're tough to beat.
And, Steve, you got to love that kind of performance on the road. I mean, to be a great team in the NBA, you have to be able to have that kind of performance in the other team's building. Really solid.
And so it's Minnesota with it, following the miss by Kobe Bryant. Smooth passes to Love. Here's Smooth, laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Smooth's got his second bucket of the game to go.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you got to continue to go to the well.
Now here's Nash. Defense is right there. Outside Jackson. From deep. The shot, no good. Timberwolves leading by 3. Moving it up. And the basket by Brewer. Brewer's got his third basket of the night.
Now that is a quick bucket. Pretty good in transition.
That's right. That's exactly right. He loves when he gets the chance to get out and run. That's when he's at his best.
Now here's Kobe. Really played well against Memphis in his last outing. He dishes it to Jackson. That's in, coming off an assist by Kobe. Kobe's got 3 assists now in this one.
Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
Pekovic inside. He's guarded by Hill. The shot's good from Smooth.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, getting the ball into the post should be their first option every time down. Force the defense to adapt and adjust.
Now here's Nash, averaging 8 points a game. Lakers working the ball around now. Jackson can't get that one to fall. Minnesota's gone 3 of 5 from three-point land so far in the ballgame. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Jackson. Nash kicks to him.
Oh, ridiculous.
Tore it down that time.
Nasty. Absolutely filthy.
And the building is stunned, partner. He dug deep into his bag of tricks there.
I hope he keeps that one handy. I want to see that again.
And it's Pekovic missing.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the board.
Yeah, and even though it's early, I mean, that's a great sign for them for the rest.
Back to Kaman. Now the pass to Hill. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Well, something special about him, guys, is just how good he is at winning the so-called second shot game, going hard to the offensive glass, salvaging points with his putbacks.
And he is also a tireless worker under the glass, Steve. More than a few guys have been on the receiving end of one of his elbows when a rebound is up for grabs. He uses his body very well.
Steve Blake is out there with Jody Meeks. Then there's Chris Kaman. Then it's Hill, and it's Jackson in at the 3. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
And now a look at Chris Kaman, some of the numbers for him. His stats have been pretty good the last few weeks. You can see he's showing up as one of the premier performers in the league. 6th in blocks. And there aren't too many guys more efficient offensively around the league. He's in the top 15 in field goal percentage.
You know, Steve, he's doing what very few players in the league are really capable of, and that's impacting games through his low post defensive presence. And he's one of the best shot blockers in the game in terms of his ranking, so no surprise.
And the whistle blows as the basket counts and a three-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up. The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight.
Well, how about the numbers for this club? As a team, 79% from the free throw line this year.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
And that bucket adds to what's been a big differential in points in the paint between these two teams. Defensively, the intensity just hasn't been there. They've got to pick up the pace.
And Doris Burke has...
Watch out! Oh, what a throwdown there. Man! Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Have build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
And why not? I mean, the more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes. And you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Outside, Martin passes it to Smooth. Begovic with a screen. Kicks it out to Love. Muhammad. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own. Muhammad's got 8 here in the quarter. Lakers trail by 13.
Guys, with the way Kevin Love has added to his game every season, you know, both with his three-point shooting and slimming down to become more mobile, where does he go from here with this game? He's already a very complete player, but knowing him and how he works at it, he'll find something he can improve on.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Pau Gasol's checked in for Kaman. Kobe comes in for Meeks. And it's Nash in for Steve Blake. Well, Clark, you mentioned how Kevin Love has slimmed down. I agree. He's really transformed his body since he came to the NBA, hasn't he, Steve?
Yeah, he has. He's much leaner now, does yoga and a lot of core strengthening exercises in the offseason. Still a beast on the board. He's got that leverage, that lower body strength in order to be able to root players out on that weak side of the glass.
I don't want to let the monkey, but you do yoga as well, don't you?
I do, and I'm leaner now and stronger than ever.
You've never looked better.
Thanks, Gab.
You've never looked better.
Appreciate that.
Martin dishes to Begovic. Deflected. And stolen by Nash. On the wing, Steven Jackson. The feed to Gasol. Begovic is there. Clock at 6. Knocked loose. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Martin with the bucket.
Fueling their offense by forcing turnovers. That's what's taking place right now, guys.
Well, where would they be without all these extra possessions, guys?
You know, the Wolves were just decimated by injuries last year, and it really put a snag in their season from the start. With Rubio still recovering from his ACL tear and Kevin Love missing a lot of time with his hand fractures, they were missing 2 major building blocks.
Corey Brewer's checked in for Minnesota. And good on the basket. Book it. Gasol's got his first bucket of the night.
Yeah, no mistakes on the offensive execution there.
And it's Martin penetrating. And Begovic kicks to Love. And again, Minnesota with the triple. And with the Wolves last year, Ricky Rubio came back and helped them turn things around a bit. But Kevin Love would end up playing very few games for him, Steve, and they never really got the chance that they once seemed to have.
Now, Love's injury, I think, just devastated this team. And Rubio, of course, coming off that ACL, he eventually made it back. But those are the key guys. I mean, Rubio and Love have to be the foundation of this club. They added a lot of three-point shooting in the offseason. So this should be a pretty well-rounded team, but it's up to the stars, Kevin.
Love with the screen on Nash. Outside for Martin. Fires from deep. And another 3 for Minnesota.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark. And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding department too, Clark.
Yeah, it's been a really gritty performance. They'll have some bruises to show for it, but that's the way it should be. You should feel that you've competed when you do that work inside.
Now here's Nash. Not a lot of room. Outside Gasol. Pass to Jackson for the three. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Love's got his fourth rebound in this one. Smooth passes to Bekovic, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
All of the scoring in tight is coming at that end of the court.
Well, they're finding the holes in the defense, Clark, and they're exploiting them.
LA has gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Kobe kicks to Jackson. Back to Kobe. 6 on the shot clock. Can they get it? Offensive rebound. Back to Jackson. He passes to Kobe. Back to Jackson. Covered by Brewer. Smooth passes to Martin. On the wing, Steven Jackson. Kobe. Right side, Kobe. Hill dishes to Jackson. 6 to shoot. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He thought he...
Love with the screen on Johnson. Now Love inside. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Love's got 15 points.
Well, offensively, he's taken a solid opening quarter and just built on it here in the second.
Farmar kicks to Kamen. Poked loose. It's taken away by Brewer. Here's Smooth, defended by Young. Feeds to Rubio. Back to Williams. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. And Brewer kicks to Williams. Off target from three-point range. Lakers have gone 6 of 13 so far from the field here in the second quarter. The dish to Young. He feeds it to Hill. He kicks it to Farmar. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. With a break in the action, let's see which teams have come away with the most steals in the NBA this season. The Timberwolves, number 1.
Well, they didn't get there by accident, guys. I mean, this is a team with great awareness, great hustle. They play so hard, and they play together at the defensive end.
Knocked away and stolen by Kamen. Kicks to Young. 54 seconds left here in the second. And slam dunk by Johnson.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Love uses the glass to finish the layup. Love's got 10 points in the quarter.
You got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Farmar kicks to Young. Wide open look, and good, as it just snugs right down through the net. Minnesota's gotten off 12 shots from beyond the arc tonight, hitting 7 of them. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Right side, Williams. There's the triple. And that's collected by Hill. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. The Lakers making a switch here. Brewer with the ball. 8 points for him.
Yeah, he's surprised he didn't make that one because he had a pretty clean look at the hoop.
Young passes to Farmar. Fades. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Minnesota on top, running away with it. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Let's get into the first half breakdown. We're starting to get into the thick of the NBA season. Terrific start for the Timberwolves. Their hot streak continues, looking good so far. Kevin Love not having very much difficulty against the Lakers. His shooting percentage off the charts right now. He's got the magic touch from the field, no question about it. For the Lakers, though, not the same story. Turnovers, something this team always struggles with, and it's been a problem again. Their top scorer is Steven Jackson. He's got 9 points and some nice plays offensively, getting the assists going. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. We're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Kevin Love really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Well, you wonder how long he can continue to shoot the three ball as well as he has to this point. He's been lights out.
Steve, you know that as well as anyone, being the shooter you were. Sometimes you have those nights where the bucket looks 3 feet wide.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, big men Love and Pekovic. Martin is out there with Smooth, and it's Brewer in at small forward. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Gentlemen, we talked before about Steve Nash last season cracking the elite 10,000 assist club, joining Stockton, Jay Kidd, Mark Jackson, and eventually passing Magic Johnson in assists. Well, now he's passed Mark Jackson as well to rank third all-time in career assists. It's an incredible career that includes 2 MVP awards.
He's something else, Doris. Thanks. For Minnesota, they have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12. And so Martin nails both of them.
Everybody knows how brutal the Western Conference can be, and part of the reason the Lakers were able to make it to the playoffs is because they were above 500 in the West, which is pretty impressive.
Came and backing down. Nash outside. Lets it go from deep. It's rebounded by Smooth. Smooth's got 6 rebounds in the game. Dishes it to Pekovic. Oh, went in there and tried to power it down, but drew contact. He'll head to the line. That one on Jackson.
Nice, strong finish. Very nearly a three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, when you stay aggressive, good things happen.
Well, going back to the Lakers in the West, they would end with a 28-24 record, Steve, against the rest of the conference. That record falling right in line where they finished in relation to the rest of the West.
Well, that record was really the big reason that they were able to catch up to Utah and end up passing them for the last playoff spot. And, Laker fans might not be happy with how quickly they exited the postseason, getting swept by the Spurs, but, they did make a good push at the end of the season just to get in.
And the basket by Hill.
See the way he times his passes so well? That's a great assist.
Minnesota leading by 22 on the wing. Brewer. A finger roll finish at the bucket. Brewer's got 10 points in the game.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Now here's Kobe. He's got 8. Back to Jackson. Pass to Keenan. Shot clock at 6. Nash outside. Offensive rebound. And another shot. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
Los Angeles shooting their 7th attempt at the foul line in this one.
And you look at the numbers for this season, guys, from the free throw line, they're shooting 77%.
That's been one of the strongest aspects of this team this season. I mean, there have been very few off nights for them at the free throw line.
So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2.
For most of his tenure in Minnesota, Kevin Love has been a happy camper. But last season, he made some statements that showed he had some reservations about just how long he'll be a Timberwolf.
Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession.
And now a look at Kevin Martin here. Some good stat lines for him recently. You can put his numbers up among the best lately. 5th in field goal percentage. And he's in the top 10 in terms of three-point field goal percentage, so it's really been a good run for him from downtown.
And you go back to his shooting percentage just for a minute here, Steve. I mean, you think about it. What makes a guy a high percentage shooter? Well, you take the shots that you work on. You don't take bad shots. And you let the game come to you. You don't force shots.
Nash, the feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Nash has got 6 points. And going back to the comments Kevin Love made, he expressed some concerns with the team's management and some of their maneuvering of players and who they were looking at.
Well, I think he was surprised, along with the rest of us, that they didn't offer him the full 5-year contract. But they were worried about his knee. And so in the end, he said, okay, give me 4, but I get a 4th-year option. And as a result, Minnesota looking like they might lose him altogether.
Nash kicks to Jackson. Back to Nash. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 4 assists now tonight.
Well, he's been a real positive factor for them today, although, as a team, they've had a lot of negatives mixed in there as well.
Martin dishes to Brewer. Back to Martin. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. A 3-ball. Bryant with the rebound.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Kamen passes to Jackson. He dishes it to Hill. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Taking a look at Minnesota. 3rd best record here in the early going. And, of course, there's Los Angeles, sitting there 4 spots below.
Right now for the Timberwolves, they're not just a pleasant surprise this year, Steve. They're a huge surprise.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who picked them to make this kind of noise from the beginning of the year. They've had a phenomenal run. What an excellent performance from the field for him.
Ball's knocked loose. Here's Smooth, defended by Nash. Backing down is Martin. The pass to Smooth. Pekovic with a screen on Nash. Smooth passes to Brewer. Martin. Here's Pekovic. They shoot again. No good from Smooth.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
Kamen kicks to Jackson. Passes it to Kobe. Excellent D there from Corey Brewer.
That's the kind of defense required when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were right in his face.
Takes the 3. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
When he gets rolling, guys, he can be an absolute handful to have to deal with. And right now, he is rolling strong.
Kobe gets a screen from Kamen. Kobe goes in. They double-team Kobe. Hill dishes to Kobe. Clock at 6. Working on Martin. Turnaround Jay. Here's Nash. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Nash has got 10.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Smooth passes to Pekovic, and that one's good. He has 6.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
Big group substitution here for the Lakers. Robert Sacre, he's checked in for Kamen. Gasol comes in for Jordan Hill. Nick Young's checked in for Steven Jackson. And it's Farmar in for Steve Nash.
They're taking so many shots down there, and they're knocking them down. Really good looks in the paint.
No doubt the offensive philosophy today, pound that thing inside.
The Lakers making a switch here. Hill's checked in. That free throw good from Gasol.
For Pau Gasol, calling last year a rough year might be an understatement. He fought off an injury and tried to find a role on a team that was in transition. A year like that can really take a lot out of a guy.
Martin with the bucket.
Just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
Kobe kicks to Hill. Back to Kobe. Now the feed to Gasol. He passes it to Farmar. The dish to Young. Young, right side. And the shot is long. And Steve, for Pau Gasol, he dealt with knee tendonitis from the first day of the season, then a concussion, torn plantar fascia. I mean, he just had one setback, it seemed, health-wise after another.
It was just that kind of season, which symbolized the fate of his Lakers, too. They just never seemed to get it going until it was too late. But, with Gasol, we're talking about a guy who's remained effective for a long time in his career. And when you have that kind of skill level, I think your game can translate as you get older.
And Young kicks to Kobe. And again, the Lakers, no good.
Such a solid performance for them inside. Their rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today.
Clark, I'm guessing that wasn't the plan for the D on that trip.
And I'm agreeing with you there. Once they opened the lane up for him, that was a little emphasis on that finish.
Take what the defense gives you and then just power it home, right? Why not?
Feeds it to Farmar. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Martin with the ball. The shot's good from Smooth. Smooth's got 4 points now in the quarter. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for the Timberwolves?
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive, attacking and coming away with steals.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Kobe. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey, gentlemen. Well, part of the Lakers' struggles last year was that they were constructed like an all-star team. Coach Mike D'Antoni said, quote, "Have you ever watched an all-star game? It's god-awful because everybody gets the ball, they go one-on-one, and then they play no defense. That's our team. That's us." Having a pecking order with all their big players was something he wanted to instill on their Lakers roster. We'll see if they can do a better job of adhering to that this time around, guys.
Well, that's the rub, isn't it? That's the balancing act, isn't it, Doris? Share the ball, but get it into the hands of your scorers. Here's Smooth. He's got 13. Back to Pekovic. And here we go. Young's got it. The fast break chance. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top. But instead, he'll shoot free throws. This is his first trip to the line tonight. First free throw is good.
Well, quite honestly, guys, he was one of the biggest surprises of the 2011-12 season. Pekovic. I mean, he continued to show that he's a fantastic option at the center spot with another solid season. I mean, he's a big physical presence, can finish inside, aggressive on defense and on the boards, and doesn't have a bad face-up jump shot either.
Meeks dishes to Farmar, and it's out of bounds. The Lakers able to retain possession here. While we got a moment, let's now show you the teams that have led the NBA in blocks during the past month. The Timberwolves, number 1.
You know, shot blocking can sometimes be like a spark plug or an energy injection for the defense. Their home crowd really gets into it when they throw those shots out of there.
Hill passes to Young. Off the pick. And he hits the jump shot. Young's got 4 points now in the quarter. Well, back to Pekovic, or Peck as you call him, Steve, and as his teammates call him too. Another productive season. He did struggle with some injuries. Missed about 20 games, but he is a man.
Hey, Peck is a grown man.
He is
There's
a grown man.
question.
Yes.
Pretty remarkable second-round pick, 31st overall back in 2008. But well, the T-Wolves have to be excited about finding their starting center of the future.
Smooth passes to Love. Here's Smooth. It's a pick by Love. Outside for Martin. A second chance effort. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, Love is playing well. He has 18 points and he sprayed home 3 3-pointers as well.
Yeah, productive day for him from long range.
No good on the free throw.
Kevin, it's disheartening to see them keep missing opportunities to extend the lead at the line. I mean, when you have a chance to put a team away from the line, you want to take advantage of that. You don't want to give them a chance to come back on you.
and he sinks the second. Here's Blake. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far. Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Nice work there coming off the screen. Young's got 11 points.
We've seen a noticeable improvement out of him since halftime. He didn't have a whole lot working in the first half.
Outside Williams. Pass to Smooth. Second chance shot, and it's good on the way in. Smooth's got 8 points in the quarter.
Boy, that was impressive, Clark. He did not hesitate to take the ball right up against the bigger defender.
Boy, I like that aggressive mindset there, Steve.
Blake kicks to Meeks. He feeds it to Blake. 6 on the shot clock. Beyond the arc. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
Sometimes, Kevin, you could just look at a guy's release and immediately recognize that he's a born shooter. And that's the case with Meeks. Beautiful form. Just has a natural way of getting that ball to go through the hoop.
Ever since his college days at Kentucky, he's been one of the best shooters on the planet, and that hasn't changed. You just can't leave him alone anyplace. Offensive rebound. Hill. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
So far, going for more of an inside game here in the second half, and I like that. A little smash-mouth basketball, taking it inside.
Wesley Johnson's checked in for Nick Young. Here's Barea, gets the bucket. Barea's got his second basket of the night.
Boy, they've looked good in the open floor today. That's had a lot to do with their success.
Well, they've been doing the right thing, Steve. Anytime they've had numbers, they've gone straight up court with it right away. Boom.
Smooth passes to Barea. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. They can look forward to the Oracle Arena after this game to match up against Golden State. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip.
A lot of good games going on today, guys. And tell you one, the one that has my eye is the Golden State matchup.
He kicks it to Buttinger. The pass to Smooth. Johnson the screen. Outside Williams. Barea. The basket is good off the assist from Williams. Barea's got 7 points in the game. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Tune in next. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Johnson out there with Chris Kaman. Then it's Jody Meeks. Then it's Steve Blake. And it's Sakrian at the 5, roaming the paint. That's who's in the game for the Lakers.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Can you hear the crowd kind of murmuring? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
That's his second personal foul. First team foul.
Minnesota on D. Meeks dishes to Blake. Pass to Johnson. Johnson draws the double. And that'll be the Lakers as it goes out of bounds. Lakers retain possession. Here's a look at the schedule for the Los Angeles Lakers. Their next game is at Oracle Arena, so a road game with the Warriors. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for them. 4 on the shot clock. No good on the quick 3.
And Steve, not only is their lead big, but their advantage on the boards is huge too.
Yep, well deserved. I mean, they have worked their tails off on the glass.
Blake with it. Off his foot, and they're saying he kicked the ball. Buttinger against Johnson. And Meeks kicks to Blake. Meeks passes to Blake, and out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. After this one, they take on the Clippers at the Staples Center. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip.
Yeah, and you know the fans out in L.A. really hoping for a win in that one.
The Timberwolves shooting fantastically in this game, 62% from the floor. Knocks it loose. Kicks to Meeks.
Here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Blake dishes to Johnson to halt the run, and there's Steve Blake on the assist from Wesley Johnson.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
Williams a screen. He dishes it to Johnson. For Minnesota, they've gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the fourth quarter. They came out of the break on a roll. Johnson to screen. Smooth passes to Buttinger. No good off the back of the rim.
Couldn't convert, but nice little 2-man game there.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see them go back to that the next trip.
And Meeks kicks to Blake. And another 3 for the Lakers.
Their 3-point percentage has taken a big leap up since the start of the second half. They're starting to find the range.
Steve, the lasers are starting to do their thing. That's going to be the ticket for them the rest of the way.
And Shved kicks to Buttinger. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that 3-pointer.
Now Blake. There's the feed to Johnson. Kaman inside. Misses from close range. The Timberwolves have gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. On the wing, Johnson. The shot will not go. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. Smooth passes to Johnson. Buttinger. That's good, and it's Johnson with the assist.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
Agreed. I mean, you look at the points. I mean, they're getting a lot of baskets off of assists, so the offense really clicking here.
Blake kicks to Johnson. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play. You know, the hope was that a change of scenery and a chance to run up and down the wings would be just what was needed to get Wesley Johnson going in the NBA, but that just didn't happen for him last season.
Pass to Smooth. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Johnson the screen. Smooth passes to Johnson. It's stolen by Johnson. Now the dish to Farmar. Feeds to Blake. He passes to Farmar. He kicks to Johnson. Here's Sacre. Clock at 6. From deep. Rebound by Williams. Williams has got rebound number 5 here tonight. And for Wes Johnson, the 4th overall pick back in 2010 out of Syracuse, he just hasn't been able, Steve, to break through.
Yeah, you wonder why, because he's got great size and athleticism, beautiful shooting stroke, and yet the shooting numbers just aren't there. So I thought he would be better coming into this league, but we'll see if he's able to develop and find a niche somewhere.
Here's Blake, defended by Shved. Blake dishes to Johnson. He feeds it to Sacre. Sacre off a pick from Blake. Johnson outside. And the pass to Farmar. Fires for 3. There's the bucket. Good.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
Into Johnson.
And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up Clark that beautiful alley-oop dunk.
Yeah, it was nice.
Just a gorgeous assist.
Here's Farmar. On the wing, Johnson from outside the arc. Good. And Farmar gets the assist. And it's 8 points for Johnson. Minnesota's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. And Williams backs in. The jump hook. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Yeah, they're getting exposed right now.
Farmar kicks to Blake. Johnson outside. Dishes to Blake. Back to Johnson. Johnson right side. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Muhammad.
Oh, Wesley Johnson has been great. He has 8 points, and he's come up with a couple of nice steals today, too.
Well, he's been playing a very energetic brand of defense, Clark. You got to love it.
No good on that one. He hits the second from the line. Here's Smooth. Kicks it to Muhammad. Passes it to Shved. He dishes it to Muhammad. The feed now to Johnson. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. First one falls for him. Second free throw, no good.
You know, even though he's getting up there in years, guys, Powell's effectiveness shouldn't really drop off much. He's a long, skilled player who doesn't play off the ground very much, and his versatility should help his longevity.
Working on Williams. Here's Farmar. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Farmar's got 5 points in the quarter. The Timberwolves have gone on a tear here in the fourth. They're 8 of 9 on field goal attempts in the quarter. Clark, you mentioned the versatility of Pau Gasol. Steve, it's really the defining quality of his game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the ability to do so many things offensively as a big guy just really completes a team. Now you can run any kind of offense you want. And Pau, as a passer, as a scorer, as a shooter, has been one of the best in the game for the last decade.
Minnesota making a switch here. Borea's checked in. Johnson, the pass to Sacre. Shoots from the block. Nice spin off the left rim and in. Minnesota's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Back to Williams. Johnson with the lead pass. The offensive rebound. Lays it up and banks it in.
You know, it's a plus to get good looks in the paint. And when you can get them, you got to score them.
Lakers have gotten more than 58% of their attempts to go down for them in the fourth quarter. They're 7 of 12. Here's Sacre. He's guarded by Johnson. There's the 3. Can't hit. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. Borea with it. Now guarded by Blake. Johnson dishes to Borea. Pass to Smooth. Johnson with a screen on Johnson. Smooth passes to Borea. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. LA's gone 4-7 with the long ball here in the fourth quarter. Pass to Johnson. Launches it. Again, Johnson missing.
Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, he can't dial it in from deep this half at all.
Johnson with a screen on Johnson. Johnson kicks to Williams. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson. 9 points for Williams.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
That's tipped. It's off his foot. And the ref's saying he kicked it. Nick Young's checked in for the Lakers. And here is Blake. Blake off the pick from Gasol. 6 to shoot. Feeds it to Johnson. Again, Johnson missing.
More often than not today, those shots have not dropped for him.
Here's Smooth. The dunk and the foul. A powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. They get Steve Blake. Clark, can you believe it? A point guard who can soar like that?
Man, I tell you what, that's a major elevation there. That's a power finish for a player at any position.
Well, he is not afraid to take it inside. We know that.
Young dishes to Johnson. Young, will it go? And too long on the shot.
And that's a shot he had to take.
For sure, it was a good decision, just poor execution.
There's a screen by Williams. Smooth passes to Barea. Here's Smooth, defended by Young. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here.
7 seconds on the shot clock. 7.
And there's a minute 45 left in the fourth quarter. Clock at 4. Smooth passes to Williams. Rejected by Gasol. Johnson's shot is off. Lakers have gone 7 of 16 from the field here in the fourth. That's about 43%. Shots good from Young.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
Here's Smooth. Back to Williams. He passes to Smooth. Picked by Williams. Smooth passes to Williams. Here's Johnson. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
Chase Budinger, he's checked in for Muhammad. And that one falls for Johnson. LA has gotten 8 shots off from three-point land and hit half of them. Blake kicks to Young. There's the dish to Blake. 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And blocked. And that'll be the Lakers as it goes out of bounds. Lakers retain possession.
5 seconds on the shot.
There's 45 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And Pau Gasol, the bucket on the assist by Blake.
That's what has to happen if they're going to turn this thing around. He's got to take charge. He's got to be aggressive and really look to push here offensively.
He kicks it to Barea. There's the pass to Smooth. Williams a screen. Smooth passes to Johnson. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Shot clock at 5. Williams attacking. Smooth. Back to Williams.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
And he knocks down the first one. And both free throws good for Williams. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Johnson dishes to Gasol. Blake with it. Back to Gasol. Puts it up from 15. Missed. So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr endorsement, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Smooth.
Take me now, she said, I wanna feel no pain. Just pin me down. She said, I wanna misbehave. She looks me dead in the eye. She's staring straight through my soul. Yeah, she says she wants something new. She's sick of everything old. She said, stay for a minute, stay.
You pulled down 12 rebounds. A lot of errant shots were collected by you in this win. Do you feel your work under the glass was essential to the victory?
I mean, rebounding in general is critical to the success of the team. You have to come in with a blue-collar, workman-like mentality if you're going to get wins in this league. And part of that is a total commitment to rebounding. There isn't too much you can control on a basketball court, but one of the things you can is how much effort you give. And there is no better time to show that you care than when a shot comes off the rim and is up for grabs. Hustle goes a long way, man.
Yeah, we're just getting started. I know that you want it, baby, just get on it, ready to go. We know how to party, pull out the Bacardi, feel it in my body, put on a show.
Yeah, let's go. Nah, we ain't never gonna slow down. All the girls looking hot like a hoe down. Everybody going off in my hometown, ready for a showdown. Keep it on the low now. We about to pop off like a bottle. Everybody knows that we're going full throttle. Drinking alcohol, yeah, straight from the nozzle. End of the night, end up horizontal.
They know they want something more. They know they want something more. They've never heard us before. They've never heard us before. A sound that's hard to ignore.